8-year-old Emma pushed through the heavy door of a Hells Angels bar in Nevada, soaking wet and shaking. "My mom didn't come home last night." The room went silent. Then she touched the locket around her neck. When it flipped open, every biker in that bar froze. They recognized the face inside. Ridge, the chapter president, stood slowly. "Saddle up. Nobody hurts family." What they found in that desert warehouse would shock an entire state. Before we continue, subscribe and let us know where you're watching from in the comments. Emma had walked 4 miles through a Nevada rainstorm. Her mother, Lisa Martinez, always came home at 6 p.m. sharp from her job at the diner. Last night she never showed. Emma sat at their kitchen table watching the clock. 7 p.m. 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Nothing. Her mother didn't answer her phone. The police said wait 24 hours. Emma couldn't wait. She remembered something. Her mother kept a locket in a drawer. Inside was a photo of a man on a motorcycle with patches on his vest. On the back, handwriting, "My brother Jake. If you ever need help, find the Angels." Emma didn't know what it meant, but she knew bikers gathered at bars. And there was one bar everyone in town whispered about, the Hells Angels place on Route 50. The walk was the scariest thing Emma had ever done. Rain driving down, cars passing too close, cold seeping through her jacket. But her mom needed her. So she walked 4 miles, past closed shops, past the gas station, past the elementary school where she should have been safe at home doing homework, until she saw it. A low building with motorcycles lined up outside like metal soldiers. Music thumping from inside. The kind of place her mother had always told her to avoid. Emma's hand trembled as she reached for the door. Heavy wood covered in stickers and scratches. She pushed it open and stepped inside. The warmth hit her first. Then the silence. 20 bikers stopped mid-conversation. This was their space. Leather and beer and cigarette smoke, pool table in the corner, bar along one wall, patches and photographs covering every surface, men with beards and tattoos and eyes that had seen too much. And into this space walked a small girl, dripping wet, crying, holding a silver locket. The men stared. These weren't movie bikers. They were real, scarred, weathered. Some had gray beards. Some had tattoos disappearing under sleeves. Eyes that had seen things. Faces that didn't apologize for being hard. But every single one of them froze when they saw that child. Then a man at the back stood up. Ridge. 6'3", built like he'd been fighting gravity his whole life and winning. Gray beard, leather vest with patches that told stories. Chapter president. He walked toward Emma slowly, carefully, then dropped to one knee, bringing himself to her eye level. "Hey there, little one. You okay?" His voice was surprisingly gentle. Emma's lips trembled. "My mom didn't come home." The words came out broken. "She always comes home at 6, but she didn't. And I called her phone and she didn't answer and I found this." She held up the locket with shaking hands. Ridge took it gently. When he opened it, his entire body went still. Inside was a photo. A young man on a Harley, grinning at the camera, wearing the same vest Ridge wore now, the same patches, the same colors. And Ridge knew that face. Jake Martinez, his brother, who'd ridden beside him for 15 years until a drunk driver took him out on I-80 7 years ago. "Your mom," Ridge said quietly, his voice tight. "What's her name?" "Lisa Martinez. She works at the Silver Diner and she's always home by 6 and something's wrong. I know something's wrong." Ridge's jaw clenched. Jake's sister, the one who disappeared after the funeral, the one they'd tried to find but couldn't. The one Jake had made them promise to protect if she ever needed it. And now her daughter was standing here, soaking wet, terrified, asking for help. Ridge stood. He didn't need to explain, didn't need permission. When you've ridden with men long enough, 3 words are enough. Saddle up, brothers. The bar exploded into motion, chairs scraping, jackets grabbed, keys checked, 20 men preparing to ride with the efficiency of soldiers. This wasn't their first emergency. They knew their roles. Tank, the sergeant-at-arms, was already pulling phones from the charging station. Crow grabbed his helmet. Bones checked his knife. Diesel was at the door. Every man moving with purpose. Ridge turned back to Emma. "What's the last thing you remember about yesterday? Did your mom seem worried?" Emma thought hard, wrapping her arms around herself. "Mom seemed scared lately. Last week a man came to our apartment. He was yelling about money. He had a shiny watch and expensive shoes. Mom told him to leave. He said she had until Wednesday to pay, or there'd be consequences. Yesterday was Wednesday." Ridge exchanged glances with Tank. They both understood. Loan sharks. Dangerous men who operated outside the law. Men who made people disappear when they didn't get paid. Men who thought they could terrorize women without consequences. "Crow," Ridge called. "Stay with the kid." Crow moved to Emma, his scarred face somehow conveying safety despite the rough appearance. He wrapped his jacket around her shoulders. It swallowed her whole, dragging on the floor. "You're safe here, little one. My name's Crow. Nothing's getting through that door to hurt you. You understand? Not one damn thing." Emma nodded, drowning in the jacket but feeling warmer already. Ridge was already on his phone. "Yeah, it's Ridge. I need information. Lisa Martinez. Works at the Silver Diner in Henderson. Anyone collecting debts from her? Anyone making threats?" He paused, listening. His expression darkened. "Find out. Now. Her kid's standing in front of me crying because Lisa didn't come home last night." Tank was pulling up maps on his phone. "Abandoned properties within 20 miles. Places where you'd take someone you don't want found." Bones called out from the bar. "Old motel off Highway 95. Been closed for years. Owners in prison for trafficking. Place is perfect for this kind of thing. Isolated. No witnesses." Ridge nodded once. "That's where we start." Diesel spoke up. "There's also that warehouse near the old industrial park, north side. Been empty since the factory closed. I hauled scrap metal from there last year. No security, no cameras." "We split up," Ridge decided. "Tank, take your crew to the warehouse. I'll take mine to the motel. Everyone else spread out and check the side roads between here and the diner. She disappeared somewhere on that route." Outside, engines roared to life. 20 Harleys rumbling in a bass note that shook windows. The sound of thunder. The sound of brothers riding to war. Chrome gleaming under streetlights. Leather vests displaying patches that meant something. Colors that represented promises kept. Ridge mounted his bike. A Harley he'd been riding for 20 years. Every scratch a story. Every dent a memory. He looked at the men flanking him. These were brothers who'd been through hell together. Who'd buried friends together. Who'd made promises over graves and meant them. Diesel on his left. Bones on his right. Behind them, 15 more. Ready. They rolled out in formation, headlights cutting through rain like knives. The roar of engines drowning out everything else. Route 95 stretched dark ahead of them. They rode fast. Not reckless, but urgent. Every minute mattered. Every second Lisa was out there was a second too long. The old motel appeared through the rain after 12 minutes of hard riding. Collapsed buildings, broken windows, graffiti on crumbling walls, and fresh tire tracks in the mud leading to the back. Ridge killed his engine. The others followed. Silence fell except for the rain hammering on broken pavement. Ridge called the police, gave the location, told them what they suspected. The dispatcher said units were 15 minutes out. Ridge said they weren't waiting. You want a clean scene? Get here now. But we're going in. Clock's ticking. They approached on foot, 20 men spreading out around the property like a net closing. Tank went to the back exit. Bones to the side windows. Diesel covered the north approach. Ridge took the front. The main office door was locked. Tank appeared silently with bolt cutters. The lock snapped with a metallic click that seemed too loud in the rain. Ridge pushed the door open slowly. No sudden movements, no noise, just smooth, practiced entry. The scene inside made his blood turn to ice. Lisa Martinez was tied to a chair in what used to be the motel office, face bruised, left eye swollen shut, blood on her shirt, cuts on her arms. 2 men stood nearby. One wore an expensive watch and designer clothes. The other was younger, nervous, pacing. Both spun around when the door opened. The man with the watch started to speak. Who the... Ridge's voice cut through like a blade. Calm, controlled, deadly. Step away from her. The man looked at Ridge, then at the 19 other bikers filing through the door behind him. Big men, hard faces, moving like a coordinated unit. Men who'd seen violence and dealt it when necessary. His confidence evaporated like water on hot asphalt. This is business, the man tried, his voice losing strength. She owes money. We're just... You kidnapped Jake Martinez's sister, Ridge said quietly, each word carefully controlled, each syllable carrying weight. You made that our business. Recognition flickered in the man's eyes. He'd heard of Jake Martinez, heard of the Angels, hadn't connected the dots until now. Fear replaced arrogance. The younger guy bolted, tried to run for the back door. Tank was already there. The guy ran straight into a wall of muscle and went down hard. Tank zip-tied his wrists with practiced efficiency. No drama, just results. The man with the watch made a bad decision. He swung at Ridge. Big, wild haymaker. Ridge caught his fist mid-swing, twisted, and put him face first on the floor in one smooth motion. Knee in his back. Pressure on the spine. Stay down. Don't make this worse. Ridge moved to Lisa, cut her restraints carefully with a knife he pulled from his boot. Lisa, it's Ridge, Jake's brother. You're safe now. Emma's okay. She came to find us. Lisa's face crumpled when she heard her daughter's name. Relief and fear mixing. Tears cutting through the blood and dirt. Emma? Is she... She's at the clubhouse with Crow. Safe, warm, drinking hot chocolate. Waiting for you. Ridge helped her stand gently, supporting her weight. That's one brave kid you raised. Walked 4 miles in a storm to find help. Used Jake's locket. Smart girl. Lisa started crying. Real sobs now that the danger was over. She found you? She actually found the Angels? She had Jake's locket, the one he gave you. She knew family would help. And she was right. Police arrived minutes later. Lights flashing, officers spreading out. They found everything clean, professional, suspects restrained, victim secured. No excessive force, no vigilante justice, just citizens who'd stopped a kidnapping in progress and held criminals for lawful arrest. The officers knew Ridge, knew the Angels, knew better than to complain. This was faster and cleaner than they could have managed. The story came out fast once detectives started questioning the men. Lisa had borrowed money 2 years ago for medical bills when Emma had pneumonia. From the wrong people. Predatory lenders who operated in shadows. They kept adding interest, illegal rates that doubled the debt every few months. When she couldn't pay, they grabbed her on her way home from work, snatched her from the parking lot, planned to hold her until her family paid $20,000. They didn't know her family was 20 bikers who'd made a promise to her dead brother 7 years ago. The ambulance took Lisa to the hospital. Ridge rode alongside on his Harley. The other angels followed, a convoy of protection, engines rumbling through rain-soaked streets. At the hospital, Crow brought Emma. When Emma saw her mother wheeled in on the gurney, she ran. Lisa caught her with both arms despite the pain, both crying, both safe. Ridge watched from a distance. This was their moment. But Lisa looked up through tears. "Ridge, thank you doesn't even—" Ridge shook his head. "Jake made us promise, made every one of us swear. Family protects family. Your daughter honored that tonight. Came to us when she needed help, trusted us. That's the code working exactly right." The men with the expensive watch and nervous hands were charged with kidnapping, extortion, assault, and operating an illegal lending operation. Federal prosecutors got involved when they discovered the operation was bigger than anyone knew, connected to organized crime across 3 states. Both men got 15 years federal time. No parole, no early release. But the story didn't end there. What the angels did after the rescue made the real difference, made it more than just one dramatic night. 3 days later, Ridge and Tank showed up at Lisa's apartment with a truck full of supplies. New deadbolt locks, security cameras, motion sensors, reinforced door frames. They installed everything, paid for 6 months of monitoring service. Lisa tried to refuse, said she couldn't accept. Ridge wouldn't hear it. "You're Jake's sister. That makes you family. This is what family does. No arguments." Bones organized a rotation without being asked. Every morning, a different angel made sure Emma got to school safely, sometimes on the back of a bike with a helmet sized for her, sometimes in pickup trucks when weather was bad, never making it a big deal, just ensuring she was never alone and vulnerable again. Emma loved it. Got to know 20 different men, heard stories about her uncle she'd never heard before. The clubhouse became a second home for Emma over the following months. She'd do homework at the bar while bikers played pool and told road stories. Crow taught her chess and never let her win unless she earned it. Tank showed her how to change a tire and check oil. Diesel helped with math homework. These dangerous men became the safest people in her life, the ones who showed up consistently. Lisa got a better job within a month, management position at a higher-end restaurant, better pay, better hours, actual benefits. The owner knew what the angels had done, knew Lisa was under their protection, wanted to keep her happy and safe, respected what that connection meant. And Emma? She never forgot what those men did, how they mobilized in minutes, how they dropped everything for a child they'd never met. Years later, when she turned 18, she told Ridge she wanted to understand the community that had saved them. She started volunteering at domestic violence shelters, helping women escape dangerous situations, connecting them with resources and safe houses, paying forward what could never be fully repaid. 10 years after that rainy night, Emma stood at Jake's grave with Ridge beside her. She placed flowers on the headstone. "I wish I'd known him," she said quietly. "Mom says he would have loved teaching me to ride." Ridge nodded. "Jake would have been proud of you, what you walked through that night, the courage it took to trust us. You honored everything he believed in." "The locket saved us," Emma said. "No," Ridge corrected gently. "You saved you. The locket was just metal. You're the one who had the courage to use it, to walk 4 miles in a storm, to push through that door, to ask for help. That's all you, kid." 5 years after that night, Lisa organized an annual gathering at the clubhouse. Families the angels had helped over the years, women they'd protected from abusive partners, kids they'd looked after when parents were in trouble, veterans they'd connected with services, a reminder of what the brotherhood really meant. Not the stereotype Hollywood sold, the reality. Men who showed up when systems failed, who filled gaps that official channels couldn't or wouldn't fill. Ridge is 62 now, still rides every day, still leads the chapter with the same steady hand. When reporters ask about that night, and they do because the story spread, he says the same thing every time. Emma saved us, reminded us why we wear these patches, not to be feared, not to look tough, to be the ones who answer when someone asks for help, to be family when people have nowhere else to turn. She was 8 years old and braver than most adults I've known. Emma keeps the locket, still wears it every single day. But now there's a second photo inside that Ridge helped her add. A picture from her high school graduation. Ridge and Emma together, both smiling. Her in cap and gown, him in his vest with patches. Proof that one night of showing up became years of support. Proof that rescue wasn't the end, but the beginning. The code continues. New members learn it from the old ones. Stories get passed down at the bar over beers and bad jokes. When someone needs help, a stranded motorist, a veteran struggling, a woman running from danger, the angels mobilize. Not for recognition, not for thanks or media attention, because it's what you do. Because family takes care of family, however you define it. That neon sign still glows on Route 50, Hell's Angels, MC, Nevada. Same red letters that guided Emma through the storm. And if you know the story, if you understand what happened that night, you see it differently. Not as a place to fear, but as a place where an 8-year-old girl found help when everyone else said, "Wait." Where 20 men dropped everything for a promise made to a brother 7 years dead. Emma is 28 now. She runs a non-profit that helps trafficking victims and domestic violence survivors, connects them with resources, provides safe houses, and sometimes, when someone needs protection that official channels can't provide fast enough, she makes a phone call. To Ridge, to the angels, to the community that showed her family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. If you believe communities like this matter, that following through matters more than dramatic one-time rescues, subscribe. Comment, "Family first," if you think the angels got this right. Share this with someone who needs to know there are still people who keep promises made over graves, who honor brotherhood beyond death, who protect the helpless because it's right, not because it's profitable. Because this isn't just about one night in Nevada. It's about thousands of Lisas who need help. Hundreds of Emmas who need to know adults will respond when they ask. Communities everywhere doing what these bikers do. Showing up, following through, being there consistently even when cameras are gone and recognition fades. The real heroes aren't the ones who rescue and disappear into their own lives. They're the ones like Ridge and his brothers, who show up for the rescue, then keep showing up, who install security systems and drive kids to school and create support networks that catch people when they fall, who turn one night of heroism into years of steady presence, who prove that family isn't defined by genetics, but by commitment,